I always wanted to have my own pub, and my life is always kind of, I let my life run its course. There's not really that many conscious decisions that get made. You kind of go with the flow, don't you? The ebbs and flows. And so I went to London. I made sure I moved jobs enough to make sure I had a grasp on everything that was required to eventually be in a position that opening a pub wasn't really going to be, well, stressful, but that difficult. So I started opening pubs for companies, and then I was working in this great pub in Primrose Hill where Robert Plant was one of my locals, and all of these awesome, like, local, like, old school Londoners. But I really started to hate it, and I just thought, I've got to get out of this before, because it's the only thing I can really do. So I want to leave it now before I really do start to dislike it. So I left. I went to work for my mate Neil Kitchen at Cave Direct, who's a craft beer wholesaler. And we were already quite well tied into that kind of movement in London. And I did that for like 2.5 years, and it was a great job, but, you know, it doesn't really... Work is a big chunk of your life, so if you're not 100% into it, even though it was a great job, I went to Belgium, I went to bloody Germany, all over the UK, started selling beer to Forage and Vintners and Chris at Bottle Monkey, so I was coming home quite a lot. And then my dad started getting poorly, and things weren't really going too well for me in the UK, so I had to make a decision, and I just said to Hugo Mackenzie one day, he said, "What do you need to come back?" I was like, "A bar restaurant." He said, "Give me a day." And that was it, yeah. We had keys within a week. I came back, we had a look around it. There was a few people looking at it in Castletown. Couldn't justify the price of doing it, didn't really think it'd work. I took my cousin around, Matty, who thought I was bonkers. He really did think I was absolutely bonkers, but I could see it because, you know, you just got to look past what's already there. And yeah, and me and Matty worked pretty hard. We had loads of help along the way, loads of friends. And yeah, and it evolved from there. And I love music, like we were saying before. You know, I really don't know what I would do without it. I've got to, if I've got a spare bit of time, if I'm on a bus, I've got to have headphones in. Mm-hmm. You know, the telly's hardly ever on in our house. It is for the kids, but we listen to music just constantly all the time. So I thought, well, if I'm gonna be working alone a lot of the times, let's get some bands in. And my dad played, and I played in loads of places on the island. We had such a great time, and everybody could see that Castletown itself was, you know, hadn't changed for so long. I know lots of people in Castletown, lots of people, and then Secret Pizza were there, so I got to know them. And it would, yeah, and it really didn't really take that much pushing at all. We got a few bands in. We had Birds and the Beards play the opening night, and we had May Chalice and a few others come in, and I didn't really have the connections. I really had to like grow it from there, and yeah, and it's turned into something that I'm very proud of.
And you begin to realise then, don't you, when you said connections grew from there, that the community over here, the music community, is really supportive of each other. Exactly, you
took the words right. Yeah, people are just like, oh, try these guys. There is nobody. When I was playing in bands, everyone was like, rubbish them. Do you know what I mean? So Lord knows what they were saying about me, because I was terrible. Like my dad, he said, yeah, I don't know whether it's an old Manx thing, I wouldn't say that's bad about his, but he would always be like, oh, they were this and oh, they were that, and you know, and I carried that in. Like before I met Post-War Stories, I can remember watching Gratz 3 down at the Bay, and Jimmy supported them, and we just didn't talk. But now we're back. Like the guy, I love them. You know, and I see Mark all the time, Ben, and you know, perhaps constantly support, coming up with ideas, and we're trying to work on some things for late in the summer as well. A little mini festival down there, so that'll be something we'll be talking about another time. But
excellent.
Yeah, everybody is. They just want everybody to do well, and the more people that are into it and pushing it, the more fun it is outside the bloody living room, you know.
So true. And also as well, I think the other thing about it is, like you said, Castletown had started to sort of change a bit with the likes of the Secret Pizza and a few other sort of businesses popping up. But again, so short of live music venues, and so now you've created not just a venue for Castletown, but a venue for the island.
Yeah, I think so. I just wish it was bigger, you know. And,
has it made you want to take on a bigger space then?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, you got to future-proof yourself as well. You know, we've got a 9-year lease.
He's got
on
a little
Compton
twinkle
Vaults.
in his eye here.
Yeah, there's something in the works, but I can't say anything because they'll kill me. So yeah, we're working on something.
Oh, exciting! Because that is needed, and I think that is proof when you do open something like Compton Vaults, which, like you said, is a small venue. It just proves that we do need it, and it will be supported, because you are always busy, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. We have to stop people coming in sometimes. Yeah. It does get pretty rammed in there. And one thing I've learned over a short space of time, who was it? I think it was Man in the Woods' first gig, and they're loud. Yeah, they'll take pleasure in me saying that. They are loud. they were playing in one room, and everyone's going nuts, and then there's like in the other room there's a table of elderly ladies just drinking French martinis. Do you know what I mean? And that sums it up. Fair enough. They probably couldn't hear anything, but it was just they stayed they must have had dinner in Leonardo's with their family, and they came in and they had a few drinks, and they loved it. You know, it's just,
that is brilliant.
Yeah.
Only
so
on the Isle of
everybody,
Man.
it's just going to show everybody loves music. It doesn't really. There's a friend of mine. You got me going now. The tea's kicking in. A friend of mine. I used to have speak to a friend. He used to come into one of my old pubs all the time, and he was a sound engineer. No, he was a tour manager for some really nice people, and we used to talk about music. And I said, they're crap. They're rubbish. They are. And he'd say, like, Juan, there's only two types of music in the world. There's music you like and there's music you don't like.
Well said.
And that goes for everything, doesn't it? So yeah, it changed my opinion. When music's music, if it affects people and it gets people going, puts people in a good mood, then who's to knock it? Like, you know.
So true. That's the thing. And you have chosen one of my favourite songs next, which is one that doesn't get played very often. Pearl Jam and Nothing Man from Vitalogy. What is it? Why did you want to choose this one?
Right. So I love a bit of Pearly J. Nirvana are probably my favourite band, but I actually do listen to more Pearl Jam, and I don't know why that is. It's just the way it is. I listen to them all the time. It's probably a bit sad. I'm stuck in my ways, but Nothing Man for me, it's that caught a bolt of lightning, curse the day you let it go line, because when you this is deep, man. Fasten your seatbelt. when you're in a sticky position in life and you've got two ways you can go, that can mean anything. You know, you curse the day you let it go. You're going to miss that opportunity. You're going to stick with what you have because, you know, and it's helped me through a few sticky times. And it's just move on, man. And I just love the tune. A lot of people don't like Eddie, but I think he's a genius.
He's wonderful.
And I love all of their stuff anyway. You know, Mother Love Bone and Temple of the Dog. It's just those boys they're timeless, aren't they?